Let me give you 5 truths about human behavior most people do not learn in school. Most people do not learn from books. And most people definitely do not learn when life is still so soft. But they learn them after disappointment, after betrayal, after being ignored, after giving too much, after expecting too much, after trusting the wrong people, after life humbles them. And the painful part is this: most of these truths are always around us. We do not see them clearly until something happens that forces us to stop and think and finally understand people very, very different. So in this video, as you're listening to me, whatever you'll be doing, I want us to walk through the 5 truths about human behavior that many people only learn after life has already had them. And I want us to handle them in an ascending order. I'll start with the truth that is easier to notice when we will move deeper. Until we reach the one that hits the hardest, I want you to ask yourself this hardest question: which of these truths did life teach you or me personally? Okay, let me begin. Truth number 5. People listen to respond, but not to understand. Let's start with something simple, but very real. One of the first painful truths people learn about human behavior is that many people are not really listening when you speak. They are only waiting for their turn to start talking. Now, think about how many times you tried to explain something, to explain yourself to someone. Maybe you were trying to share something important. Maybe you were opening up emotionally to them. Maybe you were trying to clear a misunderstanding. Or even maybe you were simply trying to feel you wanted someone to hear you out. But while you were speaking, the other person was not really with you. Their face was there. Their body is always there. Their mind was busy preparing a response, but defending itself. That they were busy deciding what to say next, busy finding a way to win the conversation. And that is why so many conversations leave people feeling empty. Because, see, being spoken to is not the same as being heard. This is one of the biggest hidden frustrations in human relationships. A lot of people think communication problems will happen or happens because people do not talk enough. Sometimes the real problem is that people talk plenty. They just do not listen deeply. And once life hurts you enough, you start noticing this in every conversation, everywhere. You notice it in family conversation, you will notice it in friendships, you notice it even at work, you notice it in every simple and hard argument that you get. You notice it even online conversations. I mean, everywhere. Okay, people hear words, but they do not always receive meaning. That is why when you finally meet someone who truly listens, it feels so different, it feels so rare, and it feels so safe. It feels almost healing, because real listening is one of the most underrated forms of respect. And the painful lesson life teaches many people is this: do not assume that because someone heard your words, they understood your heart. That is truth number 5. Truth number 4. People will treat you based on how you value yourself. This is one of those truths that many people resist at first because it feels uncomfortable. But life keeps repeating itself until you finally get to understand it. People pay attention to how you carry yourself, to what you allow, to what you excuse, to what you tolerate, to what you laugh off, and to what you keep forgiving without change. In other words, human beings are constantly reading signals, not just your words, but your signals, the untold postures. You can tell people to respect you all day, but your actions keep saying, I will still stay even when you disrespect me. Many people will believe your actions more than your words. That is the hardest part. A lot of treatment is not only based on who the person is, it's also based on what you repeatedly teach them they can get away with. Now, let me try to be clear here. This does not mean people are right to mistreat others. It does not mean every bad behavior in your fault does not mean victims are responsible for how they were treated. No, but it means in everyday life, boundaries teach people how to approach you. When you do not value your time, people will waste it. When you do not respect your peace, people will disturb it. When you do not defend your dignity, some people will test it. And that is why self-respect is not just a personal feeling, it's a social communication. It tells the world something. It tells people where the line is. It tells people where acceptance or acceptability will be. It tells the people around you whether they are dealing with someone who will bend under pressure or someone who knows their worth. And for many people, of course, life teaches this through pain, through one-sided friendship, through workplaces that exploit them, through relationships where love becomes control, through even situations where they kept giving. And you give chances until they finally realize that generosity without boundaries can become self-neglect. And once you learn that, something will change. You stop begging for respect, you start embodying it. Truth number 3, most people are driven by self-interests. Now, this can sound a bit cynical if you hear it carelessly. So I wish you will understand me. Be careful. But it's not about bitterness. No, it's about clarity. One of the deepest things life teaches people is that many human beings are not primarily moved by fairness, by loyalty, or the noble intentions. They are moved by interests. They are moved by benefits. Talk about the comfort. Talk about the emotional rewards. Talk about the convenience. Talk about the survival. I mean, what serves them in that moment is what moves them. Okay, and before someone misunderstands this, let me say it clearly. This does not mean all people are evil. It doesn't mean kindness is fake. It does not mean love is always selfish. It means self-interest plays a very big role in human behavior that many people want to admit. People often stay where they feel seen. People often they will stay where they feel safe, where they feel useful, where they feel they gain something, where sometimes that something has to do with money. Sometimes it has to do with validation. They will stay where they feel that emotional support. They feel they gain a status. They feel the access and convenience. People will stay there. That's the interest. And this is the truth. And this truth becomes painful when you realize that some of the loyalty but you thought was deep was actual so conditional. I mean, some people are not even with you because they truly valued you at your core. No. They were with you and they are still with you because the relationship was working for them. Then the moment that benefits change, they also change. So they move with what moves. They change with what changes. The moment the convenience disappears or disappeared, they will also disappear. The moment you needed the same level of energy you had been giving, suddenly they were absent. That is when life teaches you the difference between the genuine condition and the useful connection. The genuine condition and the useful conditions, the connections that are genuine and the connections that are useful. And if you are not careful, this truth can make you even bitter. But the wiser response is not bitterness. It is not discernment. It is learning to ask yourself, who is here because I am? Who is here because what you can provide? And who is truly connected and who is merely benefiting? I hope you really can understand the two things. That question alone can serve people for years to avoid confusion. And the truth is, sometimes the transition is more different. And truth number 2, comfort makes people forget you. This is one of the quietest, painful truths in life. People remember you intensely when they need you, when they are struggling, when they are confused, when they are heartbroken, when they really feel so lost, when they feel life has become too heavy, when they need something to keep them busy, when they need to talk to you, when they need to talk to someone, when they need support, when they need that one very important advice. And there's also those ones that will look for you when they need the help to survive in that particular difficult situation. In those moments, your presence matters a lot. Your calls really do matter. Your support matters. Okay, the sacrifice and the patience matters. But then life changes. They recover, they stabilize, they heal, they get comfortable again. They move into a better season. And suddenly the urgency with which they held onto you begins to disappear. Now, this does not apply to everyone. Some people genuinely remember. Some people genuinely honor those who stood by them. Some people carry gratitude with maturity and depth, but many do not. And that is what really, really hurts. Because when you help someone during their storm, you naturally assume that the bond has deepen even forever. Okay, but sometimes once the storm is over, so is the intensity of the bond. And that's even funny, because that is when life teaches you something even important. How people from a good heart, but do not build your emotional future on the expectation that gratitude will always remain as strong as the pain that created it. For sure, because pain makes people hold on tightly. Comfort will even make some people loosen their grip, okay, loosen their defense. This is not easy to accept, but it is real. And wise people learn to be generous without becoming dependent on appreciation, on being appreciated always. They learn to do good because it is right, because they know it is right, actually, not because they are trying to secure permanent remembrance. That is the truth. Bear with me, it's the truth. Now, that was my number 2. And I will say this, my very last. If you got here, thank you so much for hearing me out. You give your opinion, you give your comment, whatever you feel like. If I missed out anything, please, you teach me, you guide me as well, because I'm human as well. Now, truth number 1, finally, truth number 1, fear can turn good people into different people. I'm gonna get deep a bit here, because it's deep itself. Because a lot of people spend years assuming that character only reveals itself in a big moral speeches, in nice words, in ordinary good behavior. But life teaches something even more unsettling. Okay, fear changes people, sometimes in a very, very dramatic manner. A kind person can become cruel when they are threatened. A supportive friend, that friend of yours that has always supported you, like has always been there for you, can suddenly withdraw when a situation becomes uncomfortable. A person who once seemed loyal can disappear when standing besides you even gets more costly. Okay, that is because fear is one of the most powerful forces in a human behavior. Fear makes people protect themselves. I know you know this. They protect themselves fast than you. They start narrowing the compassion because of fear. They start weakening logically because of fear. Fear exaggerates even danger. Fear can make imaginations louder than the truth. I mean, fear can make people abandon what they would normally stand for. This is why crisis reveals so much about people. Not because crisis creates character from nowhere, okay, but because crisis pressures whatever is already there. And when fear enters that room, when fear enters your heart, many people stop acting from principle and start acting from self-protection. They are no longer following anything. Whatever is said, now they are protecting themselves than you as a bond, you the person that he or she has known for a long time. That is why life-changing moments are so revealing. Illness reveals it, failure will reveal it, financial struggles will reveal fear, public shame reveals it. I mean, talk about social stigma. The social stigma reveals it clearly. The loss itself, a simple loss or a bigger loss, will reveal fear. Now, in easy reasoning, in easy seasons, many people appear solid. In hard seasons, fear begins sorting people. It will sort out the real people that should be with you or should be away from you. Think of this. I mean, not everyone who has been good to you in comfort will remain good to you when you're under pressure. No, it's not. It's not gonna be the same. Those people will not be the same, because the truth breaks many hearts, because it forces people to evaluate relationships when they thought they were secure. But it also offers something powerful. That's clarity. Because once fear has revealed the structure of a relationship, then you can no longer protect the way you did before. You can no longer confuse convenience with courage. You can no longer confuse proximity with loyalty. You can not even confuse friendliness with depth. And when you learn this truth, painful as it is, you even get wiser. You even become brave. You become slower to idealize people. You become more observant of the people you work with in your day-to-day life. You become more grounded in reality. Okay, now, so there you have it. That's from me. Those are the 5 truths about human behavior that many people only learn after life hurts them. Okay, you can give your opinion, you can give your idea. Okay, those are my reasons, and the truth that matter is because they are meant to make us. You're not supposed to think I know this much better. Give your opinion. Okay, go on and give your side. How was my thinking? Okay, now I want to hear from you. I want you to say what you want to say. Which of these 5 truths did life teach you the hardest way? Was it number 5? Was it number 4? Which number exactly? So there you have it. 5 truths about human behavior that many people only learn after life hurts them. Number 5, people listen to respond. not to understand. Number 4, I said people treat you based on how you value yourself. Number 3, I said most people are driven by their self-interests. Number 2, I said comfort makes people forget you. And number 1, fear can turn the good best friends into very different kinds of people. Okay, now the reason this truth matter is not because they are meant to make us cold. No, they are not meant to make us suspicious of everyone. No, they are not meant to turn us into people who trust nobody and expect the worst from everybody. No, I didn't mean that. They are meant to make us wiser and even more brave, because wisdom begins where illusion ends. And many people go through life suffering not because others hurt them, but because they kept expecting human behavior to be more ideal than it is in the reality. Once you understand people more clearly, you will stop taking certain things so personal. You will stop forcing what is not real. You will stop over explaining yourself to those who are not listening. You stop lowering your standards for acceptance. You will even stop confusing usefulness with love. You stop being shocked when fear reveals the hidden weaknesses in relationships, and that does not make you even bitter. It makes you awaken. It makes you more awake and you stay alert. Okay, thank you. Sure.